Hey everyone, welcome back to KT Sessions. Today we are diving into the world of web services in Power Automate Desktop. If you have ever wondered how to connect your flows to web services or APIs, you are in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll know how to invoke web services and integrate them into your automation workflows. So let's get started. First, let's understand what HTTP actions are. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it is how computers communicate over the web. Using HTTP actions in Power Automate Desktop, we can send requests to APIs to fetch the data, post the data, and interact with the web services. So sound powerful? Right, let's see how it works. When we go to this flow designer, we can go to the action pane, and in this we can see when we search for HTTP, we can see these three actions. One is invoke web services, invoke SOAP web services, and download from web. Okay, so we can use this invoke web services action to invoke the REST APIs or web services. So there are a lot of parameters in which we need to give the values to access our APIs or to send a request to our API. Okay. So for this, you need a API documentation. So for example, I'm going to use this API, and this is the API documentation. You can see the method is it is a get request. You can see get. Okay, so when I go to my flow designer, here I need to select the method which is get, and you can see there are a lot of method available. You can select the method as per your requirements, means whatever API you are going to use, you can select the method of that API. So I'm using a get API, so I have selected get, and then you can see this is the URL of the request. So I'll copy this and I'll paste in the URL section. Okay, so what exactly this API is doing is it will list, or it will extract the list of all objects. So in my API, it contains that lot of objects, and those objects contains the name of the device and the color and capacity of the device. Okay, so I have total 13 objects in my API request, API body in my API. Okay, so I want to extract the details of all these. Okay, so in this response we will get this body, this JSON data. All right, so let me go back to this, and here you can see accept. So my API will accept the JSON, so I will give JSON here because we are getting the response in JSON only, and content type is also JSON. The custom headers and request body fields depend on the API, and you have to configure them as described in its documentation. And if the web server requires authentication, populate your credential in the appropriate fields of the actions advanced settings. So when we go to advanced settings, we can see this option HTTP authentication. We can turn this on, and we can provide the username and password. A variable named web service response store the result of the web service request. If the result are files, you can select to save them locally on your desktop. Save response, so it will determine how the return data will be saved. So for example, I want to save the response get in a variable. So see, we can see this first option, get text into a variable, and the next option is save to disk. So if you want to directly save your files into your desktop or in any other location, so you can select this. But in my API, we are getting this response, this text only. So I'm selecting the first option. All right. So we have configured our API, and there are a lot of other advanced setting as well. You can use this as per your requirements, but my API is very simple, so any of these is not required. No need to change any of the settings. So I will click on save, and here we can see we are getting three variables, flow variable. In one we will get the response of the API, and in another we will get the header of the APIs. Okay, so let me run my flow. And here we go, our flow has completed successfully, and let me show you the response. So in this web service response, we can see this JSON data. You can see we have gotten this data of all the objects. So we have successfully extracted all the objects from the list or the API. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm getting this response in the JSON, but I want this to convert into text or the custom object. Okay. So I'm going to use this convert JSON to custom object. Okay, so here we need to give the JSON. So my JSON is available in web service response, and it will produce one variable which is JSON as custom object. Okay, so let me run the flow again. And here we go. We had successfully converted our response into JSON. You can see this is the list of custom object, and we have 13 items in this. You can see the index is starting from the 0, and this JSON also contain one more list. You can see this data. It contains one more JSON object. So when we click on more, we will be able to see ID, name, and data. And this data again, see this ID contains only one digit, one value. Okay, so this is in the key pair, key value pair, but this data contains one JSON object. Okay, so we can expand this further. See color and capacity. See color, capacity. Okay, so this is how we can expand it further. And if you want to access a particular value, for example, I want to access the particular a color of a item. For example, I want to access the color of this item. So what I can do is I can go to this and this. So here you can see the path. JSON is custom object. 3 is the index of this, and then data, and in this data we will get the price or color. Okay, so let me show you how you can achieve you can extract this. For example, if you want to apply some further processing on it, so you can do that. Custom object, and third object, index is third, and then the name of the field was data, and then the name of the field was color. Okay, so let me click on save, and let me run the flow again. See, we are getting purple. The color of the third item at third index is purple. So let me show you. You can see this is the third index and the color is purple. So this is how we can extract the value of a particular attribute, and we can perform the further processing on it. Okay, so similarly we can use another APIs as well. We have, if we want to extract the object of a particular ID. For example, I want to extract an object, and the ID of the object is can be 3, 5, or 7. So in that case, what I can do is I can append the ID in the URL itself. You can see earlier the URL was till here objects. Now after objects we have appended the ID. If ID is 3 or and ID is 5 and ID is 10, so it will extract the object of these particular IDs. See, if I give 3, 5, and 7, so it will, in this case it will give only 3, objects. And let me delete the last one because see now index 3 is out of range because we are getting only 3 items and the index of the last item is true. So we don't have any item at index 3. So we are getting an error in the line number 3. So this is how we can extract the value of a particular ID. Okay. And if you want to extract a particular only single object, so you can give the ID directly here like 7. So it will extract the item at 7th object. 7th. It will extract the object in which ID is 7. And we use post request post APIs to post the data, means to write the data. For example, I want to add one more item in my list, so I will use this post. Then we have this put method to update the existing data. For example, I want to update the value of any attribute for this particular ID. For example, for ID 7 I want to update the value. So what I can do is I can use this put method and I can give this request body. So whatever I want to update, I can give the updated data here. And we use patch method to partially update the object. For example, I want to update only name, so I can use this patch. Similarly, if I want to delete the object, I can use this delete method. You can see we need to give the ID of the object. So all these APIs, all the details or the request, everything you can find in your API documentation. And then you can go to this Invoke Web Service method, Invoke Web Service action. You can select the particular method and you need to give the URL, then this accept and content type. So and if you are using any custom header, generally we use our API keys or something in the custom header. So you can give that custom header here and in the request body. If you are updating your API, so you need to give the request body. And if you are using any credential for authentication, you can turn this on and you can give the username and password. And connection timeout. This is the time in seconds that the agent should wait for a connection to be established with the server before giving up. Okay. And follow redirection. So this will specify whether to allow the web server to redirect you to another web service or not. So sometimes web server will redirect us to the another web server or another web service. So you can if you want to get redirect, you can turn this on, otherwise you can turn this off. And clear cookies, specify whether to clear all cookies created by similar actions during this automation before this action. Okay. And user agent, specify which browser identity to be seen as. Some web servers won't allow access unless a browser identifier is chosen. Okay. Encoding, the encoding used for the web service response. If the auto detect option is chosen, the encoding to be used will be specified by the web service. Okay, so these are some attributes or the parameters. You can assign the values to this parameter, and all these values you will get from your API developer or you can go through the API documentation. And that's how you can invoke the web services in Power Automate desktop. Whether you are fetching data or interacting with APIs, this feature opens up endless possibilities for automation. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more automation tips. Have any questions? Drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and happy automation.